Day 18, Grace from Start to Finish. Daily Devotional. Do you expect to hear God's voice? Seriously, when you pray, do you wait for Him to answer? I'm just going to tell you point blank. You will not hear His answers if you don't expect Him to speak or open your spiritual ears to listen. So many people think God doesn't speak anymore, like He got laryngitis, and just stopped speaking to people somewhere in the past. Ain't nobody got time for that. Some have been taught this, while others just think that it can't happen to them for some reason. Like maybe God speaks to big-time church leaders, but they're a special exception. Does God speak to regular people like you and me? Yes, He does. He never changes, and He has never stopped speaking to His children, but we often have stopped listening. Let me paint the picture for you. Let's say I call my wife, LaKendria, and in one big breath, I tell her about my day and all this stuff I want her to know, my shopping list, my concerns about our 2 sons and the challenges going on with my business, and immediately hang up. What type of conversation was that? A good one? Definitely not. I'd hear about it later and probably get an "excuse me?" if that's how I talk to my wife all the time. So why do we do this to God? In today's reading, you're going to see how incredibly patient God is with us as He teaches Prophet Elijah how to hear His voice. Elijah performed many mighty miracles for God, but beyond the shock and awe of gale force winds, earthquakes, and a firestorm, Elijah found the sound of God's voice was not a shout. It was a gentle whisper. If you're not listening, you can easily miss a whisper. Are you listening? Or do we pick up the phone of prayer, call God, dump on Him, give Him our to-do list, and then hang up? I want you to finish this fast expecting to hear God's gentle whisper. Jesus said His sheep, and that's all of us, hear His voice. He has not grown silent, and you've never really prayed and fasted until you've done so with the hopeful expectation of hearing God speak back to you. He has a word for you. Be still and know that I am God. And listen, Psalm 46:10.
Elijah was afraid and fled for his life. He went to Beersheba, a town in Judah, and he left his servant there. Then he went on alone into the wilderness, traveling all day. He sat down under a solitary broom tree and prayed that he might die. "I have had enough, Lord," he said. "Take my life, for I am no better than my ancestors who have already died." Then he laid down and slept under the broom tree. But as he was sleeping, an angel touched him and told him, "Get up and eat." He looked around, and there beside his head was some bread baked on hot stones and a jar of water. So he ate and drank and lay down again. Then the angel of the Lord came again and touched him and said, "Get up and eat some more, or the journey ahead will be too much for you." So he got up and ate and drank, and the food gave him enough strength to travel 40 days and 40 nights to Mount Sinai, the mountain of God. There he came to a cave where he spent the night. But the Lord said to him, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" Elijah replied, "I have zealously served the Lord God Almighty, but the people of Israel have broken their covenant with you, torn down your altars, and killed every one of your prophets. I am the only one left, and now they are trying to kill me too." "Go out and stand before me on the mountain," the Lord told him. And as Elijah stood there, the Lord passed by, and a mighty windstorm hit the mountain. It was such a terrible blast that the rocks were torn loose. But the Lord was not in the wind. After the wind there was an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake there was a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire there was the sound of a gentle whisper. "Be still and know that I am God. I will be honored by every nation. I will be honored throughout the world.